Global crackdown on Chinese app TikTok continues. After US and UK, New Zealand becomes the latest nation to ban TikTok from the government devices with immediate effect. And the ban on the app will start from the 31st of March in New Zealand. The United States had raised a fresh alarm over the Chinese app, saying it poses threat to national security. My colleague Raksha breaks down the world clock that is now ticking on TikTok. This is a big story we are tracking here on the TikTok app, whether this is indeed a threat to national security for various nations. That is the question being explored. In fact, multiple nations have blocked TikTok.
So, look, we've expressed concerns over China's potential use of software platforms that could endanger or threaten America's safety and their national security. So that is the president's concern. That is why we have called on Congress to take action. We see a bipartisan piece of legislation that you know that we are supporting. It's called the Restrict Act, as you all know and been covering. And so that's the president's main priority, to make sure when it comes to their safety, when it comes to their security, when it comes to our national security, that those things are protected. And so that has been the president's focus over the last couple of years.
Well, joining me today here on the program is Elizabeth Braw, Senior Fellow, American Enterprise Institute. Thank you so much for joining us here on the program, ma'am. Thank you for giving us your time. Let's start by getting some clarity on this topic. The fact is that all these nations that have blocked the TikTok app have national security concerns coming from the fact that there is a possibility the app has shared private data with the Chinese government. That is one concern here. Do you believe that this is a legitimate concern and that there is a very good reason why so many nations now have come out against this app?
We can never know for sure what TikTok has shared with the Chinese government. The problem is that there is the potential for it to share such data because of the legislation that China has that requires companies based in China with their data present in China to share such data with the government if the government asks them to. And so that is a problem for any company operating in China, holding data in China. And of course, especially for companies that are headquartered in China, they can't easily move their data out of the country. And so it is a really it's an immediate concern for Western governments, especially given how many people use TikTok, and especially given that we don't know when the Chinese government will ask such companies for their data.
But, you know, if you look at the Chinese response to this, they're saying that this is misinformation, it is fake news, it is nothing but Western paranoia, which is playing out, and there is no reason why an app which is so hugely popular in US, in fact, this is going to come at a huge collateral damage, I believe, if the US government actually goes ahead and completely bans it. New Zealand has said it will also ban it on its devices that has access to Parliament's network. But should that really happen in the United States, for instance, isn't it true that it'll come at a certain cost for the US as well?
Completely banning TikTok would come at the cost, certainly, and I don't think that's imminent. What we have seen just a few hours ago is, of course, the UK being the latest country to ban TikTok from government-issued devices, and that is something I think should have happened long ago. There is no reason really to have TikTok on your government phone. The problem, though, is governments and especially parliamentarians everywhere are struggling to reach young people, and they thought TikTok would be the perfect tool to reach young people because that's where young people don't just shop or share funny videos. That's where they get their news, and so Western politicians, politicians everywhere in the past couple of years in particular, have been turning to TikTok as a way of reaching out to younger members of society, and then now that's clashing with national security concerns, and this is the nature of globalization. The tool that we thought would help our democracies at home turns out to have inherent national security risks.
Yes, yeah, it all comes, with a certain health warning, perhaps, and this should have been known in the beginning. Do you believe that this was long due? Because, if you notice, India did this long ago. It did it immediately after the Galwan clashes, and other countries have followed suit. So there's been a long gap, even after certain countries have blocked TikTok, for the Western nations to actually come around and do it.
There's been a long gap, and I think it was not for lack of information. It was just a reluctance to try to limit the use of something that is so popular. We should remember TikTok is, as your viewers are well aware, it is the social network of today. Facebook is something that was popular a few years ago, and people my age use it. I don't use it personally,
Yes.
but people my age use it, whereas younger people, they just never use TikTok, Facebook to the extent that they use TikTok.
Right.
And so governments have been reluctant to try to stem that use,
Right.
because it will just never be popular. But I think now the risks are so real that they are taking this step, and who knows whether they will try to expand the ban. But this first step of banning
First step
TikTok
has been
on
taken.
government phones.
Right. Elizabeth Shaw, thank you so much for joining us here on the program. Really appreciate your giving us time today. Let's take a